Welcome to the Drama Queen Perspective, a podcast designed to empower, inspire, educate, and entertain. Drama Queen is a philanthropist, educator, business owner, poet, and performer. So you know you will be entertained. Find out what's trending. Get a thumbs up or thumbs down on the hottest restaurants, places, and things. And find out ways to help your business grow. And much, much more. Without further ado, here is your host, Drama Queen.
Hey, it's your girl Shanese from season 6 of 60 Days In. My production company needs your help. Our Autoimmune Journal fundraiser has started. We have 3 designs on Amazon currently, and we'll be adding more just in time for the holidays. Now, this is not your typical journal. It is full of valuable information for someone who suffers from or thinks that they may be suffering from an autoimmune disease. A portion of each sale will go towards the production company. Thanks in advance for your support. What's up? It's your girl Drama Queen coming to you with the 3rd and final episode of Celiac Interesting Facts and Statistics. If you missed this 1st and 2nd episode, make sure you go back so you can educate yourself and learn a lot more about celiac disease, especially if you have a family, friend, or loved one that suffers from this disease. I promise you, you will be a little bit more empathetic, sympathetic, and you will know a lot more about this disease and why your friend, family, or loved ones feel the way they do, act the way they do, move the way they do. In case you missed the first 2 episodes, I just want to give you a little background on why I am so passionate about this topic of celiac disease. I suffer from celiac disease, of course, but back in 2019, I volunteered on a show called 60 Days In that aired on A&E in January of 2020, season 6. I volunteered once I realized how many people suffer with celiac disease and how many inmates suffer with celiac disease and the things that they had to go through being locked up because they had celiac disease. And once I was made aware that the ADA had protections for people that suffer with celiac disease in places that you could not control your food, like jails and prison systems, I decided to be the sacrificial lamb because I wanted to bring awareness. There are court cases that I don't know where they're standing now, but since I've been in this journey since 2019, there have been court cases of inmates that have sued jails because they were not given the proper diet, even after providing the proper documentation, and they suffered tremendously. While filming season 6 of 60 Days in Etowah County Detention Center in Gadsden, Alabama, because I was not fed a gluten-free meal and I had the issues of cross-contamination, I developed another autoimmune disease for the world to see. My feet were very, very, very swollen, and I had severe heart palpitations and had to leave the program early. So celiac disease is not a joke. So I want people to be aware because there are so many people that thank me for bringing awareness because they suffer from this disease and their family and friends think that they're chronic complainers, as I was painted on season 6 of 60 Days In. So on this final episode, I want to say that I hope that you learn a lot from this episode and you go back if you haven't watched the previous episodes and just listen, learn, have an open mind, and I promise you, you'll be a little bit more empathetic and sympathetic towards your family, friends, loved ones, co-workers, or anyone that you know that may be suffering from celiac disease. In addition, if you are suffering from some of these things that are being discussed and you don't know why, this gives you a starting point. Go talk to your primary care physician. Talk to your gynecologist. Talk to your endocrinologist, whoever, your doctors, whatever doctors you see. Let them know, hey, can I get tested for celiac disease? Not your endocrinologist. That's my doctor for Graves, your gastrointestinal doctor. So let's go ahead and dive into these last few facts that I have about celiac disease. So there are two different steps to being diagnosed with celiac disease. You have a blood test and you have an endoscopy. So you usually can get a colonoscopy, endoscopy by seeing a gastrointestinal doctor, and that is how you can get that process started. The next thing that I want to share with you is that many people with celiac disease, they don't have any symptoms. However, just because they don't have any symptoms does not mean that they are not at risk for long-term complications. So I have been sick with stomach issues my entire life. Parents took me to and from doctors. They didn't know what was going on. They didn't diagnose me until I was 29 years old. And because of that, I am not able to have children and have developed other health issues. All right, there are more than 200 symptoms associated with celiac disease. And so it makes it very difficult to diagnose. Next thing that I want to share with you about celiac disease is that approximately 50% of the diagnosed patients still report symptoms while on a gluten-free diet. Sometimes it takes a while to get all of that gluten, especially when you're newly diagnosed. It takes a while to get all of that out of your system. Here's a very, very interesting fact, and I want to dive a little bit more into this a little bit later on in another video. I'm going to do a little bit more research. Celiac disease is significantly more common among individuals who were delivered by C-section. I found that very, very, very interesting. I wonder, what the correlation is. All right, so the next thing that I want to share with you is that for those that have celiac disease, following a strict dietary guidelines can make it very, very, very difficult to ever really feel full. And so because of that, it makes it hard to maintain the proper calorie intake. And so a lot of times people that have celiac disease tend to be really, really, really skinny. Like I ended up, when I was first diagnosed and it hit me hard, I lost over 90 pounds and I looked like a bobblehead, y'all. It was ridiculous. It says that about 40% of those diagnosed with celiac disease have a BMI that is over 25, but only about 5% of those with the disease will be classified as obese, which I don't even really look at the BMI. I think they need to update that stuff, but I just want to share the facts with you. Okay, let's talk about people with celiac disease and people that have non-celiac gluten sensitivity. They may have similar symptoms such as bloating and diarrhea after they consume foods that contain the protein. However, only people with celiac disease or their immune system is affected and disrupted. And only people with celiac disease, their body is not able to absorb the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients. So you have people that have gluten intolerance, and you have people that have gluten sensitivity. So the gluten sensitivity, they're not going to have the issues that people like myself with celiac disease have. All right, I am getting through these. I am getting quicker with this. All right, we just have a couple more. Here's the thing. When I was first diagnosed with celiac disease, I didn't realize how many hidden things that gluten is in. I remember eating Twizzlers and I got so sick. And one of the first ingredients in there is wheat flour. So wheat and the other grains are often used as fillers in processed foods. So I want to kind of share some things that are not so obvious and some things that I missed when I was first diagnosed, and sometimes I still miss. So bouillon cubes, brown rice syrup. There are some potato chips that have gluten. There are lots of candy that have gluten. Lots of cold cuts, hot dogs, salami, sausages that have it. When you go to church and you do your communion, most communion wafers. I have heard of some congregations having gluten-free communion wafers, but that's something to ask. French fries. Now let me tell you, French fries more so because when you're going to a restaurant out, like let's use McDonald's for an example, they're going to often fry the French fries in the same grease that they fry the chicken nuggets, which have a batter that contains gluten, which means cross-contamination. However, some other French fries, like I used to like growing up the Checkers fries with the seasoning and the batter, that has gluten. Gravy. Imitation fish. I remember eating sushi with imitation crab meat and got extremely sick. Imitation fish has gluten in it. A lot of rice mixes. I used to enjoy, eating like the mushroom rice and the chicken and broccoli rice. Gluten is a filler in there. A lot of different sauces, soups, tortilla chips, soy sauce, teriyaki sauce. It's in a lot of things. So you have to be careful because you just have to read the labels and make sure even when something says that it's gluten-free, it's really an oxymoron because it'll say this item is gluten-free, but this item was processed in a facility that processes items with wheat on it. So technically it's really kind of not gluten-free. All right, so the last fact that I will share with you for this 3-episode podcast series is the estimated proportion. This is key. I'm going to say it again. The estimated proportion of American people with celiac disease have increased from about 1 in 10,000 to about 1 in 130 within the past 2 decades. I'm going to say it one more time for the people in the cheap seats that think that this is not a serious disease. For those that thought that I was over exaggerating when I was on season 6 of 60 Days In, when I said I simply can't take the chicken out of the vegetables. The estimated proportion of people in America that suffer with celiac disease has increased from about 1 in 10,000 to about 1 in 130 within the past 2 decades. And this is why I am so passionate about educating people that don't know anything about celiac disease and empowering those that suffer with celiac disease. You are not at it alone, and I'm going to continue to try to bring awareness. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Thank you for your time. Stay safe and have a blessed one. Drama Queen is out.
Thanks for listening to the Drama Queen Perspective. Be sure to like and subscribe this podcast and share with the drama queens in your life. Until next time, this has been the Drama Queen Perspective.